Hello, 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 everyone. How are you all doing? I am actually coming after a couple of weeks due to our trip, our 35th wedding anniversary. We went on a beautiful cruise for a 7 day cruise. Just came back like few days ago, and that was the very reason that I didn't come for a live for a couple of weeks. But I'm back again, bringing another beautiful artist on this Artist Beyond Limit series. And anyways, this is Dr. Rosemary Krishnan from Los Angeles. And how is everyone doing out there? It is really, really, really beautiful day here in LA. So I just wanted to let you know it's already hot, and I heard a lot of things happening in India, especially in North India, about the flooding and everything. It's a heartbreaking, definitely, and so we are all like, looking at it, seeing what's going to happen. But our prayers are always there for all of them, whoever lost things and lives, and definitely you all agree with me that it's a very difficult situation, and but we have to wait and see what happens, even to send some help and support. So we will wait and see what happens, and but again, today is a yet another beautiful episode with an artist who is a phenomenal. So we are going to be talking to her, and asking so many questions. So I'm hoping that you're all going to be with me. But before I bring our guest artist in, I'm going to share the ethereal beauty of the amazing nature-made instrument called bamboo flute, an instrument that embodies a very essence music around the world, actually. But I will be talking pretty much about the South Indian Carnatic bamboo flute, which is often referred to as Venu, Kural in Tamil, Pulangural, and so forth. It holds a sacred place in our rich cultural heritage, and has been integral. I hope you can hear my voice. My mic was a little further out. So if anyone doesn't hear me properly, you can always send me a message. I can access my message, and I'll definitely take care of it. The flute, it holds a sacred place in our rich cultural heritage, and has been a very integral part of our musical tradition for centuries. With its origin steeped in mythology, the flute has a mythical connection to Lord Krishna, who mesmerized the world, and at that time world, with his divine melodies, and stole hearts with his soul-stirring flute playing. Crafted from a single hollow bamboo reed with 8 finger holes, sometimes more or less in different parts of the world. The Venu showcases the remarkable craftsmanship of our artisans, and who have perfected the art of flute making over generations. This simplicity in design belies the complexity of the sounds it produces, allowing it to articulate the most intricate musical phrases and evoke deep emotions. The Carnatic bamboo flute is, I would say, is a macrocosm of our musical philosophy, emphasizing precise intonation, intricate ornamentation, and a deep understanding of ragas and talas. When played, it conjures a magical tapestry of sounds, each note woven delicately into the next, creating a rich musical experience that transcends the mundane and elevates our souls. The flute is not just an instrument alone, it is an extension of the musician's emotions and inner self, I would say. To play the bamboo flute, it demands rigorous practice and training, discipline, and a deep spiritual connection also. The artist must breathe life into the flute, um, merging their breath with the instruments, and channeling their innermost feeling into every note, transforming mere sounds into a celestial language that, speaks to the heart of the listeners. I love this, like bamboo flute especially. The metallic flute, of course, that has its own beauty, but the bamboo flute it's a nature's made, gorgeous little instrument given to the humankind. In the hands of a skilled artist, the Carnatic bamboo flute becomes a divine messenger communicating stories of love, devotion, and quest for the divine. Its hauntingly beautiful timbre has the power to heal the wounded hearts, wounded souls, comfort the distressed, and uplift the spirits of the downtrodden. Throughout history, the bamboo flute has found its place not only in traditional Carnatic music but also in collaboration with various art forms. Its versatility allows it to blend seamlessly with other instruments and genres, enriching the musical landscape and demonstrating the universality of music as a language of unity. I also take a moment to express my gratitude to all the stalwarts musicians and gurus who have dedicated their lives to preserving and propagating this art form, art of playing the Carnatic bamboo flute at this time. There are several of them. So when I say I wanted to dedicate this is to every single flute artist and stalwart musicians and gurus out there. So every single one, I wanted to remember and give my respect to them. Their tireless efforts have nurtured generations of talented flutists, ensuring that this invaluable tradition remains vibrant and alive. In today's episode of Artists Beyond Limits series, I'm going to be bringing an amazing Carnatic bamboo flute artist to speak to us about her love for the art and her childhood memories, her experiences, her expertise, and all about how she started, how she is doing, and everything about her bamboo flute and her playing. Today I'm going to be bringing Shantala Subramanyam ji, who born in Bangalore and was raised in Chennai, heartland of Carnatic music, of course, renowned for its emphasis on improvisation, on beautiful ragas within a highly evolved rhythmic vocabulary. She plays the venu, the bamboo flute, or pulangural. It's in different languages, and even in North they call it banzuri. But she plays the Carnatic bamboo flute, which is venu, and it's an instrument with a warm sonority. Like many Carnatic musicians, Shantala started playing in a very early childhood under the tutelage of her own father, M.N. Subramanyam himself. He at that time was an amateur musician, and her brother Shashank. And you cannot, go without listening to when you say flute, you must know Shashank, an eminent flute artist. It was also her a good fortune to be trained by eminent performers, vocalists, late Sri Vairamangalam Lakshminarayan sir, and is instead of me saying so many things about Shantala ji, and reading about her profile, I would love to have her speak to us about all that. So it's always fair, I can sit and read and for another 10 minutes all about her, but it'll be nice to hear her saying like how she went through her training with the, all the great gurus and the teachers and everything. So like I would really love to do that. So I would like to bring Shantala ji on the world stage. But before I bring her in, I have a little tribute for her to welcome. So please join me in welcoming Shantala ji on stage. Hello, hello, hello,
Hello,
Shantala
hello.
ji. How are you doing? It's
Good.
wonderful
Namaste.
to
I'm
see
doing
you.
good. And how are you?
I'm doing very good. I'm very, very happy to bring you in on stage world stage for Artists Beyond Limits, and it's beautiful to see. Usually, I plan my screen based on the artist like a clothing, and so I didn't even know. I just wore yellow, and I'm just seeing you being in yellow, so we perfectly we are
Yeah,
matching. So
absolutely.
tell me, Ma, how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Awesome,
That was a
awesome.
beautiful introduction. And where did you pick these pictures from?
Oh, you are all over the world. So the
Oh,
internet is in our fingertips. So you can
yeah.
imagine where I picked all those.
Well,
Shantala ji,
that
before
was
I
a
ask you
surprise.
questions and before I talk to you, I
Mhm.
want you to say a few words about how you feel about this episode and what you want our audience to know, about you. And I know like your profile is pretty well established. And instead of me speaking about it, I would love to hear you saying few words to us before I start my questions. So the world stage is all yours now. Please go ahead.
I'm absolutely thrilled to be here this morning for us, but evening for you. And thank you for having me on the show, which has showcased many, many, many world class artists and way senior than me as well. And I'm very privileged to be here. And I'll try and speak about something some people may not know about flute making, about travels, about practice, about training, about my parents' role, um, and whatnot.
Amazing. Yeah, that's what we are going to be talking. I don't know, my lighting is kind of little weird around here, but I'm just
So,
going to just ignore it. The first and foremost, I would like to ask the typical question that every anchor asks. Please share with us about your family, your parents, your childhood, and your schooling, and also your upbringing with the music as a young girl. So
yeah.
that is, something that we would not know. We always hear you, so we would love to hear these, background about you. Please go ahead. The world stage is yours.
Sure. I started very young, in the sense, all thanks to my parents, because my father has this knack of teaching children very beautifully. I think the key is to keep repeating whatever you want the child to learn. So he had this knack of singing. A small line of a composition again and again and again, and then he would tell you the name of it in a way you understand. Like when I was like 10 months old, you don't, you cannot speak so fluently, so he would say, Kalyani is a raga to cry, Shankarabharanam is a raga to smile, and he would sing a part of a song every day and make sure we relate the song to the raga. And he would build this vocabulary, and within probably 2 years you could say 50, 60 ragams just when you hear the tune. And then slowly he changed that over to notation, or just singing akaram. And he would make you understand how the ragam sounds without the sahityam. And then he would ask us to notate a phrase. He would sing na 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 So he would say, what is the swara behind this? So if the moment you say gama ba ga re, then he would say, don't you want to cry? So then you know what ragam that is. And so he slowly went on building this vocabulary and made us learn in a fun way. And one thing is, he would never, both my mother and father, they would never allow you to just spend time, like wailing away time. They would constantly teach you something or the other. It could be musical tunes, it could be math tables, it could be something. They are constantly feeding you with information. And so that's really very rare these days to see parents. Of course, there was no YouTube and no telephone, hand phones those days. So I guess
Yes,
they had
that
a lot
I
of fun.
completely agree with you. These days, when we go to any airports and sit, or even, like a train stations, airports and stuff like that, the parents, what they do instead of doing these kind of things, they give a cell phone and the kid will be either watching some cartoon or will be playing the video game like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I
kind
see
like.
that a lot.
Exactly. So
Um,
this is, like the times that you or me, we grew up with no internet, no Google, you know.
there was no distraction.
Exactly. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. That's very, very beautiful to hear. How they trained you with.
Yeah,
We also
this was
had
the
these kind of.
beginning.
Exactly.
And then
Yes.
slowly, also my brother was already playing flute and practicing music every day. So I got to hear his practice every day, go
So
with
he
him to
was he was
classes.
older to you.
Yeah, he's
Shashank is.
4 years older than me.
Older to you. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I used to go to his classes with R.K. Srikantan sir, with K.V. Narayanaswamy sir, and with Sandhya Vandanam Srinivas Rao. So the exposure was there in childhood, and I started learning vocal formally when I was 4 from Srimati Shanta Narsimhan, who was a disciple of R.K. Srikantan sir in Bangalore. So that is how I started. And then we moved to Madras when I was 6 or so. So here, when I came, I joined another teacher, like everybody does, 2 days a week class, because my father was very busy grooming Shashank and traveling with him all over the world for
I remember
concerts
when
and
Shashank was like an early teenager. He
yeah,
even came
yeah,
to our house, and
yeah.
we did arrange some house concerts and stuff like that. In LA. And so I
Uh-huh.
remember those young days of Shashank's as well. Yeah, that's
Oh
really
yeah.
beautiful. Yes, yes.
Uh, So yeah, so Appa got so busy that he almost forgot that he had a daughter. So, but the nice part is that I used to hear whenever Shashank was in town and practicing, I could listen to a lot of music, and then I used to put talam for the sessions. So that was very educative and still remains deep in my memory and learning. And then he used to attend Talam classes with Trichu Narendran sir. So I used to attend that as well. So it was a combination of all this to get into my own formal training in flute. Around 10, 11 years when I was, um, there was no formal training for flute. This is what, when I tell people, they don't believe what I say, but my dad just said, why don't you play the flute? So when I started
And you just
playing,
took it and you started playing, and it just happened.
yeah, but
Because you
this
have
sounds
it in
like
the
it.
house. Yeah, you
I
have
don't know,
your
but this
brother, you
happened.
have.
Yeah, when I say this, they say, "How did you know this?" and "How did you know that?" I really don't know how I knew. I started playing Varanam, and then my father was so happy, shocked, and he didn't know. He didn't know because that I could play. Neither did I know, because I had never taken it and tried it any day. So he said after that, you know what? I don't care what you do at school. I just want you to practice well. And this is the thing that comes to you easily. And this is the most accessible thing at home you have. Because I wanted to learn violin also. He said, no, violin, you need to go for classes outside. You need to have access to another teacher. I don't think we can do that now. So just learn this. And I was like, okay. And I
So,
started
as we
practicing.
always think, the first child, we kind of put all the efforts, all the mind, and the everything to grow them up. The second, just look at that, and then they just grow.
I
That
don't
happened
know.
to
I
you
think
too.
it's just a blessing
Yes,
because
it
even
is a
in
blessing.
the case of my brother, nobody actually taught him fingering and said, this is how you have to blow and this is how you have to hold the hand and things like that. So,
Very true. Your dad was already a player, so I
yeah.
mean, a
So
flute player.
perhaps
So
it helped.
you guys had it in the house, all the support and help. Something here and there. If it goes, hey, that fingering is like that. That so you just like it took a flute and you just played.
Yeah, it just happened. I don't
Beautiful,
know.
beautiful.
Because it's the same thing with my cousin, my my father's younger brother's son. He's also a very acclaimed Hindustani flutist. His name is Akash. And they had no clue that he would take to music, let alone flute. So it's just very surprising and feels like a huge blessing to have this in the family.
Wow, that's very beautiful to hear that. I mean, I was a young child once upon a time, and whenever we used to go to, the temple, functions and all, like, there will be a lot of, like, the regular flutes will be selling, and then we'll be buying. I try to blow it to nothing came. So I don't know how to agree to what you said. We also
I think
tried that. It didn't happen
I
to
know.
us.
I know. When I teach kids now, the most frustrating time for the kid, not let alone for the teacher, is to get the blowing, is to get the right blowing at your will. So I think that's a
I was
huge.
that kind of child too. So
Some kids just run away. They are like,
I
I don't want to do it, and
know.
because
Yeah.
it also gets tiring physically. You breathe out a lot and you breathe in very little,
True,
so
true.
it can give you a little bit dizziness
True,
and
true,
make you
true.
feel tipsy. So,
Very,
yeah.
yeah, very true, very true. But it is definitely, I mean, like as I said, oh, it is definitely a blessing that you just took a flute and it just happened to you. So that's
Yeah.
amazing to hear. That's
I'm just
beautiful.
very thankful. I don't know what else to say.
Yes, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And tell us a little bit about. Of course, I can say your dad was a, pillar on both your flute learning. So of course, moms always in these cases, left alone, and of course, they are the ones who are, the prominent figures, to make sure
Yep.
that the children practice and this and that. So let us hear a little bit about what was your mom's contribution on your musical career.
Yeah. So both my mom and dad are exceptional. Why I say this is I have traveled a lot, stayed with a lot of families. I haven't seen any parent who quit his job, especially a government job, to raise his dreams with his son. Uh, with us, let's say I was like a buy one get one free. So my father was so focused on Shashank, and he wanted to achieve all his dreams through him, that he just quit his job as an assistant professor in Bangalore. Back in those days, it was very difficult to lead a life without a job, and having an young family and trying to shunt between Madras and Bangalore. It was not easy at all, and he just made this such a bold decision.
I know.
I
I
mean, I
very
could.
well remember that whenever, like when he used to come to LA bringing Shashank, like he very much said all that. We were all in shock. I mean, we were around, around the same age probably, or maybe a little bit younger,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
still, hearing those stories of him saying that I quit my job to raise my son's music,
yeah.
we were like in shock to hear that.
Today, as an young parent, I relate to this even more because I can't even take the decision of canceling one concert for my child, let alone a job that feeds me every day. And in that way, my parents are really exceptional because till today, they have no aspirations of their own. I know a lot of people will say there's a flip side to this, and they have it looks as if they have no life of their own, but no, that's not what I mean. But they give us unconditional priority, and this is something I have not seen in any parent. Um, I know that people donate kidney and donate a part of liver and all this, but just leaving everything of your own in your life to raise your children for music, that is something incredible. So my
Definitely,
mom
definitely.
always ensured she followed my dad blindly. She understood she cannot fall different in the intentions of my dad, and she realized very soon it's not going to work well for her, and she just ensured that she made us do whatever my dad told. And
That's amazing. That's
of course
amazing.
she would cook for us and all that, but then again she did a lot of sacrifices, including selling jewelry for us to the last bit
Wow.
to make ends meet.
Wow. Wow.
And that's
That's
all that
amazing.
is. So
That's
that was
definitely
my
amazing.
mom
Yeah, that's
for you. And
definitely amazing, you know.
even today she is unconditional in her love for us. If I have to travel leaving behind my very little children, she just says, go, don't worry about this. That kind of an unconditional support has been there for us from
Definitely.
the
That's what
beginning.
created two wonderful musicians, especially
Thank
with
you.
both of you, you know, amazing musicians. You know, those kind of things, sacrifices and, unconditional love is definitely needed for these kind of,
Yes,
you know,
and I think we were also lucky to find partners who continued this for us without a glitch.
beautiful. Very, very happy to hear that. That is the most important thing. Especially, you know, like being a musician, and if the partner support is not, you know, what it's supposed to be,
Yes,
and it is definitely, you know, it is the downfall of a musician. That's
yes.
very, very amazing to hear that. Very
Yeah,
happy to hear that.
I had a lot of fear. I know marriage can bring a hurdle, or emotional disturbances in a marriage can pull me
Right.
back and
Right,
stuff
right.
like this. But my husband Ramji is incredibly supportive.
Very, very happy to hear that. Very, very happy to hear that. I'm really proud, and that is definitely a blessing. You know, I'm
Yes,
very, very happy to
I
hear that.
must
Yeah,
also
yeah.
say that. Yeah.
So let us know, please. About your gurus. Of course,
Yes.
you are self-taught, like especially in the playing techniques in the beginning stages. But repertoire and like later on
Yeah,
to
yeah,
where
yeah. There's a
get
lot.
another gurus.
There's a
Yeah,
lot I have
exactly.
learned
A
from
lot
gurus, and a
more.
lot more
Yeah,
to learn. So yeah.
exactly. So music itself, you know. So tell us about your gurus and your training, and how was your first experience as a stage artist? You know, sitting on a stage after you that is always every artist heart wrecking experience, the first stage.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
would love to hear those amazing moments.
yeah.
Please tell us about all that. Thank you.
Yeah. I started learning vocal later in, I think, around 13, 14 from Vairamangalam Lakshmi Narayan sir. He was a very cool teacher, if I can say that in today's terms. Yeah, I wouldn't dare say this before, but yeah,
Yeah,
he
the
was
kids
a
wanted always a cool teacher.
yeah, I was okay to learning from strict teachers as well. But Lakshmi Narayan sir was a very easygoing teacher.
Right.
Uh,
You're fortunate again enough to
yes,
have a cool teacher. Exactly.
yes. He wouldn't, be mean, or he wouldn't ask. He wouldn't say, "Why should you ask these questions?" Or, most teachers of that generation would say, "Don't ask this question. You must know this by yourself." They assume you must already know something, and Mama was not like this. And he would heartily share all that he knows, and without holding back. And it was really very a beautiful time to learn from him. And at the same time, I was also going for Talam Solkat classes with Trichur Narendran sir. So Narendran Mama is a strict man.
So you have a combination.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and my father would help integrate these. My father was keen that I learned vocal and I learned talam, solkattu classes, and he would make me practice flute and also help integrate all these subjects, and would plan how to do and where to use what, and how to go about breaking up these if we had difficulties. And so that my father was more like a coach, so.
So you make
And then
sure
after
that you get all
Vaidamangalam
that.
Mama passed away, with Vaidamangalam sir, it was more of learning compositions. And later, after he passed away, I started learning, continued learning from O.S. Tyagarajan sir. And his, I remember the first class, he taught me Pahi Pahi Palaganapate in Ragam Hamsadvani. And one Sangadi in that is like a roller coaster. Pahi Pahi Balaganapate Bhavasudha Gunanide. I was like, I think he wanted to test how far he could push me right in the first day. Um, and yeah, I thought, okay, now I know what I'm getting into, but has been a
Wow, that was
wonderful.
in the first day of class.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay, okay.
Yeah, the padam panitu va, he said. And there was a time I did not have a recorder, so I had to memorize right in the class or soon after the class. And obviously, it has stayed in the memory for quite some time now, and I think I will never forget it.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's a amazing story to share with everyone.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also like I remember, as I mentioned, like um your father used to bring Shashang as a young boy, actually very young boy.
yeah,
Probably he was a preteen too,
yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
early teen.
Yeah.
And like and please share your father's role in. I know you already mentioned. Okay, he got all the um, um, like a stardust. He was a stardust. And so have you ever gone with him? Has he ever taken you to anywhere or to any place? Okay, hey, I also have a daughter. She is my second one, and can you please do something for her?
Yeah.
Did that ever
No,
happen at all?
that didn't really happen so much because he was very, very focused with Shashank until maybe Shashank was like 21, 20.
Right.
So, but like I said, my mother always gave me that attention. She always made sure I went to classes, I practiced, and so on. So that thing I missed about my mom while grooming us, while raising us, is that she would ensure. I'm not saying that she did this to Shashank and she doesn't do it to me. That's
No,
not
no,
what
of
I'm
course not.
trying to say. I'm just going to say about her role. She would ensure everything is so positive, so calm, and just like Shashank wants because he has a concert today. She would say, Shashank tungindrika, Shashank's food, Shashank's time, don't disturb you, just go down and play. She would ensure that everything is just fine and calm for an artist to take over stage.
Right, right. Yeah.
She would be very protective and sensitive
Right,
to
right.
that. Yeah. So coming back to my dad, yes, he has encouraged and supported me and said he has a daughter, but that was way later.
Right, right.
But
அது
or he,
சின்னது 4 வயசு சின்னது இருக்கும் அது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா வரும் அப்படின்னு விட்டுருப்பாள்
yeah,
என்னமோ.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he even thought of those things. So he just was so focused on his agenda with Shashank. So once all that was met, been there, done that, after he realized, okay, now Shashank can do things by himself and I need to do for Shantala. I was probably 15, 16 years
Oh,
old.
that's not too bad. You're
No,
still a
no,
young girl.
it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
he told me after my 10th grade, I know you are academically very good, but I don't want you to bother about scoring 95 and 96 now. You just do school for a small bit. Even if you don't pass, I don't worry. But
What a good father you had.
so he said, I have only time between 10 and 2 a.m. in the night. And I want you to sit and listen to what I say in that period. Go to school, come back home, sleep well, wake up at 6, 7 in the evening, I don't care. But you have to be physically fit for my class with you from 10 to 2 a.m. in the night. And I asked him, how do I go to school at 7 in the morning if you'll allow me to sleep at 2:30? He said, I don't care what you do in the school. I don't I don't mind even if you don't study there.
Oh, wow.
So, and when I went to school in the mornings, my teacher would throw a chalk piece at me to wake me up. And even today, my math teacher asked me, "இப்பவாவது ஒழுங்கா தூங்குறியாமா நீ?"
How cute. That's
Yeah,
really, really cute.
yeah.
Wow,
So
wow.
that's how it was. Yeah. Thinking about it, at that point in time, I did not feel any stress.
Right.
But when my own classmates chose regular streams of life and they found employment in software companies, or as a lawyer, or as any other professional, and they started earning a regular income, that's when it started hitting me hard. Then I asked my dad, when am I going to get on stage? When is actually music going to be a sustainable choice for me? And he said, just wait, Kana, another 6 months I will do it. Another 6 months I will do it. Another 6 months, and it went on and on and on, for maybe 2 or 3 more years. And then it was no looking back. When I first performed on stage, I was obviously very nervous, to say the least. But every person I invited was there to encourage me. And that kind of put more pressure. I thought, this is a huge responsibility we are walking into.
How old
And
was you at that time?
I was 21, 22.
Okay, so young adult. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
I was very, very not afraid, but thinking of the responsibility it is to keep up with all the support you've got. And you have to have it sustained. It's not just for that one concert. It is for so many years, over a period of time. The organizers put in a lot of effort, the audience puts in effort, your parents, you yourself, your artists on stage, everybody is putting in all they can to bring you up in this field. And then you have to keep up with their hopes, because an opportunity of yours has come at a cost of maybe somebody else, right? And I thought of all this for a moment, and I choked before, while I was announcing the Varnam. Then once I started playing, I think I forgot it.
Once you play,
Yeah,
nothing. I mean, that's the first 5 minutes.
yeah.
Awesome, amazing,
So what
amazing.
also helped me get onto stage with a little more experience than normal arangetram, so to say, is my dad would ensure that I play with the mridangam artist concerts 3 days a week at home. And he would say, this is your concert, okay? You have to imagine there is people in front of you. Play seriously. Sometimes he would also hire a violinist to give
That's
that.
very important. Yeah, that's
Yes,
very
to
true.
give that stage experience. He must have made me play about 100 concerts before actually going on stage.
Very beautiful to hear that. Very nice.
And he permitted me to play private concerts like weddings and house concerts before I actually went on public stage. So this was another part of his training, which is very unique.
Very true. Yeah, that's actually the most important thing. Otherwise, you put a young adult or even put a young child or, like on stage, and anything can happen, like as we
Yeah.
always
You
say,
would say, I don't want you to do your Arangetram with 50 mistakes. Do all those mistakes here. If you do five on your Arangetram day, it's okay. And that is not something blatant, but something only he and us would understand.
very, very true. And I know you travel a lot to other parts of the world for performances and stuff like that. So please tell us about your performance tours and
Oh,
in the
yes.
foreign countries, and how did that happen? Is it all your own effort? You try to contact them to go into that, or your dad and mom helped, or the organizations voluntarily came, because your brother was already a great performer. So, like, how did that kind of, initially, how did it happen? And I know now you are a very frequent visitor of foreign countries. And, like, initially, how did that happen?
Initially, it was actually, I just thought, why not? And my first tour was to Europe, and my first tour was to Sweden. Who would imagine Sweden and Carnatic music, right? 12, 12, 13 years ago, I thought, just Google up for contacts. Even this, people don't believe when I say, but I just started Googling and probably found 100 contacts in music, but not necessarily world music or improvised music, but all kinds of organizations. Then I would send 100 emails and I would get only like 20 responses and maybe two success. But it was a lot of hard work, toiling all day to find relevant venues. So I started doing that just for fun. I thought, okay, why not? If it clicks, we can go. And Shashank, in some ways, challenged me. He said, you have to go to countries I have not gone. Let's see how you do it. Yeah, so that's how this actually started. And then after that, it's like word of mouth. Some people, and then some people always suggest, oh, have you played here? Have you played there? Why don't I give you the contact? And it just moves on. And sometimes it is also because of, you know, some festivals happen and then they invite you. They say, we heard you here and there. And is it possible that you come? And yeah,
Awesome, awesome, amazing. Yeah, that's wonderful to know.
so
So at least you live in a world where there is a Google search engine, so you search
yes,
and then you get
luckily,
connected.
yes,
That's beautiful, beautiful.
yes,
I mean, it's a self-taught. I mean, sometimes we have to. It doesn't matter. Our parents can help. Our your own brother can help, and this and that. But still, if you don't have that urge, the tendency to go and
absolutely,
ask for it, that's beautiful to hear. That's really amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And in Sweden, they have been extremely open to world cultures, and I have performed in the northernmost part of Sweden inside the Arctic Circle a few times. And mostly all these concerts are for Western audiences. It's very gratifying for me because Indians will anyway hear Indian music if they want to. They know how to find and where to find and what to find. But in the Western world, to take your music and to create a positive impression, setting up for maybe another Carnatic musician to go and not be refused is quite a difficult task.
It is actually,
And
yes, very true, very true.
in like an alien world, and I've been quite happy with the kind of reach I have had.
Beautiful,
Um,
very beautiful to hear that. Yeah.
it's extremely gratifying for the music and for my career as well. So I'm always very happy to be in Europe. Feels like home. My co-artists always tell me you're a different person here. What just went on after you landed in Europe?
Wow. Very true, very true. I'm so happy to hear that. So, sometimes, you have to have the tendency, what?
Yeah.
Let me go navigate through instead of, like that's very
Yes.
beautiful to hear, especially in the
And
foreign
I got the
countries.
opportunity to play several hundred concerts for small children in schools. So pretty much like small villages, small towns. We have driven through extensively in Sweden to perform for the general public
Wow, that's really amazing. That's
in
very, very
schools. Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. So it's always, like especially, like most of the foreign countries, when they hear some music, different music, they all know flute, and even they all know even bamboo flute. But the thing
Yep.
is, creating something else other than their own music in the similar instrument,
Yes.
it's definitely it'll inspire
Yeah,
them.
we have even played Swedish songs to get their attention and to for them to feel at home.
Awesome, awesome. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for musicians, the practice schedule, the practice routines are the most important thing. As a child, I know you told me about how it happened. Through your mother's, yeah, love and affection. Like she made sure your dad made sure that you practice. So as an adult, I know like you probably you are married and you have children and their routines for schooling and all that. With all these things, do you still have the tendency to practice music, or you survive with whatever you already have built in you?
Oh, I'm sure as a musician, it's not enough to survive with what you know, and especially when you are actively performing. You need to keep yourself updated with new repertoire. Then you need to go and hear what others in your generation and younger generation are up to, what is happening in the music performances. All this is part of being there as a professional, all right?
Very true, very
And
true. I always say the music, and then on the other hand, the computers, always constantly, modifying, changing something. We will not be able to just, perform the same song over and over. So it is,
yep,
so it's like and the computers and the music are the almost same things.
yeah,
So.
absolutely. You said it. Said it. So, yes, I practice about 2 to 3 hours every day. With children who are 5 and 3 years old, you know how difficult it's to find this precious time. But I somehow ensure I do it because it's just important that I do it. And also, when I'm touring, I practice a lot more than
You practice
what
at
you.
home. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because there are artists with you who want to play, and
Yes,
it's
all the
it's very
mathematics
difficult.
and all that you can always work with
Yeah, and
new elements.
I found it's not so easy for an artist to just stay out of practice for two days of sightseeing, and then you're like, hey, I'm missing something. I need to get back to my routine, and but the moment you feel that the urge to practice is there, and when I'm on tour, I compensate for whatever I missed at home. So
That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So typically, my practice would be if I am mentally not so fresh or something, I just try and do some rote practice for muscle training and for blowing strength and so on. So that is my practice to upkeep.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. It's just now since we are talking about practices, we would love to have our audience to hear you play something, just
Yes,
a little bit for them, if you can, please.
sure. Just a moment. My charger is with me. I need to
Okay,
just plug
sure.
it in
Yeah,
and
not
then.
a problem. Not a problem.
Yep. What would you like me to play?
It's your show and it's about you. So whatever is your favorite one, I would love to hear anything you would like to give it to us.
Ah, let me play my father's favorite ragam,
That'll be amazing. Sure.
Kapi.
Awesome. Wow, 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 wow. Amazing. Me Valla. Oh my god, that's my
Yeah.
favorite too. So somehow you read
Ah,
my mind. That's
nice.
definitely my favorite too. It's such an amazing
Yeah.
composition. Thank you
Yes,
so
it
much.
is.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
And so that now that you played for us flute, we know that you are a flutist. And what are your other hobbies or interests other than music? Do you think other than music you do anything else or any other hobbies? Um, just don't simply say, "Oh, cooking is my hobby." That we
no.
have to do as I'm just joking because most of the time the easy escape is cooking is my hobby. I try different dishes. I'm not
Yeah.
buying that. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Actually, cooking is not my hobby. I'm just a very
Give me five. Give me five.
minimalistic, barely surviving cook. Just because you have to feed hunger. That's it. But I eat healthy. That much I focus on, and try to, if the taste is good, good. If my children tell me, "Amma, it was nice," I'm very happy. But that was not really my intention. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So it just worked, and I am okay with that. So my other interests are travel, temples. When I travel, I try and combine every visit with any temples, palaces, forts, whatever historical sites nearby. And I love to read about weaves, the weaves of India, the fabrics, the weaves of India, and its associated history. Because weaves have also taken a lot of transformation when we had different kind of kingdoms ruling India, and
Very true. That's, I mean, you asked me, where did you find all these pictures? I saw one of the pictures I posted before was from, I think it's a Chettinadu, Chettinadu, something you posted, like a Chettinadu cotton or Chettinadu silk, I think. And
uh,
oh, that looked amazing. I was like, you know what? I have to use this picture. So now you know how I found all that.
oh, that was smart. So that is my other interest. Anything to do with temple arts, heritage, culture, and then I also like to assemble a lot of antiques. Um, a small piece of art, how you can rearrange it and put it up like in a frame, or wherever in the house, or these are my hobbies, and wherever I go my eyes will keep spotting for such stuff, brass antiques, or um, panchalohams, and um, things like this.
Very beautiful to know
And
that.
hiking is one of my big interests. I just love to climb mountains and hills and um, stuff.
Wow,
Nature is
that's
the
amazing.
most
Yeah,
entertaining, friendly, close, confident. Everything is nature.
very true.
Uh,
Very true.
I
You
like
you
to
are
sit.
playing the flute, and it is a nature's gift to the humankind. I already mentioned. So
Thank
naturally,
you.
when you go, into the nature,
Yeah,
probably you feel
well,
yourself.
sometimes my husband laughs. He asks, "What are you doing in the balcony, just sitting?" I said, "I'm just talking to my plants. I'm just happy to see this flower here." He says, "What? Are you okay?"
No, actually, there is a belief that if you talk to your plants, they grow. I mean, they also have the feelings. They are. I mean, I heard a lot. I studied a lot. I get this kind of, are you lunatic? I get that from my
Yeah.
family a lot.
So
But
that I
I
tell
speak
him
to
I
them.
just feel very happy when I see green and when I see flowers and colors, and it just brightens me up, and I just love to be here. So
I
that's
completely
also my
agree with you.
interest.
Yeah, beautiful. Like talking to plants is something. You can see that's my actually. I'm sitting in my backyard. You see that I
Oh
have
yeah,
like a lot of greens, and I'm sitting in the one side
absolutely.
of it. The other side, I have a lot of vegetables and fruit gardens and all that. So,
Ah, lucky.
so I speak to them a lot, and you can
Yeah, it's
imagine why they
beautiful.
grow this green and beautiful.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Awesome, awesome.
I like to do all this. Traveling is biggest, whether it's traveling for temples, traveling for concerts, traveling for hikes, just taking kids, uh, doing new things is also what keeps me very interested. I like to do puzzles with my son, like a 500-piece, 1,000-piece puzzles,
Ooh,
and
wow.
I cannot sleep until I have actually fixed it. It's like an obsession.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. I can do that.
Yeah, and spending time with children. Whenever I'm there, I ensure I'm just there at their beck and call. So that's also something I like.
Of course, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Of course, like knowing that you grew up in a family that where your dad and mom nurtured you guys, like with the lots and lots of
Yeah, I think
dedication.
I must admit I can't do even 50% of what my parents did for us. I have resigned to that fact and just accepted it. I think I'm more selfish than what my parents were for me,
Wow.
because I'm not
I mean,
going to be able to um, put my career at pause because I want to bring up my children. As cruel as it may sound, it
no,
just
it's, I
feel
mean, the priorities. I mean, like in that generation, the next generation, I mean, what they feel is like my immediate next generation, they believed that we will be taking care of them. So we have to do the right thing. So,
And often I also feel, you can correct me if I am wrong, but I often feel that it's a responsibility you have shouldered on you for so many years. And like I said in the beginning, it is the hope and investment of so many people at different levels into your art form, into grooming you, into providing you platforms to perform, into building an audience into your music. And you can't just squash everything overnight and say I'm going to pause now and raise my children.
very true. I agree with you
I feel
completely.
this way, unless a situation is so dire that you need to do it. But there are so many inspirational musicians who have I say especially women musicians, because women have different roles and responsibilities in the raising of a family. I see so many stellar women who have accomplished this pretty successfully, and so why not?
Exactly. So I mean, I won't call it selfishness, but it is like we are living in a place and the time in this world, and this is the era. This is the way how you have to do it. Otherwise, either in order to make your children successful, you have to also be successful.
Correct.
Otherwise, to provide them what they need, to provide them
Yes,
what they deserve, you need to be in certain level to give them the priority of what they deserve. So I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, so I won't call it
Absolutely.
a selfishness,
And
but
whatever you do in life, it's going to have pros and cons. There is no such decision that only has pros, that only is going to be the most positive thing to do.
very true.
Oh, I have one belief: if you do something with the best of intentions in place, things will all be okay. When your intentions are doubtful and when your intentions are screwed up, maybe the results are not so desired. So I hope to go on with this belief, till
Yeah,
my
it
kids
definitely.
say, "Amma, just stay home, please. We need you." I'm sure in their life such a phase will come. and I would like to
Yes.
be there for
No,
them. But till
they
then,
will understand. Yeah, I mean, you are definitely giving what they deserve. In a different. We probably, or you probably are not doing the exact same thing what your parents did, but definitely what
yes,
you are doing is, how many children we are seeing they are on the streets. They don't even care. They just left them alone. So at least, we are not doing things like that. We are
no,
providing them what they deserve in a
absolutely,
different format, in a different way,
yes,
with the limits what we know and what we
yes,
can do with what we do.
absolutely,
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you are being a
absolutely.
wonderful parent, and I.
Sometimes I also think, children have also their own life. Very soon they will be gone, and then I don't want to be feeling, what did I do with myself? Because I don't believe in saying I sacrificed for you. No, that's not the right thing to say. Uh,
I mean,
so
even
there
though a
is
lot of
nothing like,
parents say that, yeah, very true. Like
yeah, so there is nothing like sacrifice. You took some decision to suit yourself and your demands of the day. Every choice is a sacrifice, right? So,
So that's why, I mean, there is no comparison. You definitely are doing an amazing. You are being an amazing mom. I already see a little one somewhere here and there. Your eyes are like all over the place, and that itself is a lot of sacrifice. Being on a live show and still watching the baby next to your kid next to you, and still doing the live without getting distracted is an amazing thing. You
thank
are a
you,
wonderful mother.
thank
I can
you,
definitely say. I mean, we can always call a babysitter. Hey, can you take care of my baby? I have a live to attend. We can always say that. You don't do that. So that
thank
itself is
you,
a big thing. So that's amazing,
thank
amazing.
you,
Very
thank
happy
you.
to hear that from you. And so let me ask you, what is that you look at yourself for your future as a musician?
I look at myself taking Carnatic music to corners where it has never been performed. Um, More and more venues and more avenues created for this music is one of my big goals in life. And perform more and more, just get better
Definitely.
and bigger, better and bigger. So that's my goals for life. Have more, maybe um, I don't call it fusion, but collaborative projects to do. That's also something that interests me a lot. And I wish there was a system like in the West where you can train musicians to also have like a formal school after school activity where they also get rewarded for their efforts, as in like a diploma degree, or prepare them to getting into a performance circuit in a more serious fashion. um, I wish there was a system like this, and I would like to see if it's a possibility to introduce
Yeah,
it.
you have the idea, you have to implement it, because here
Yeah.
in the US we do have after school programs and music, dance, and this and that, like they have. So I don't think in India it's there, so it will be a wonderful thing. I mean, now you have
Yeah,
the
in
idea.
India, it is there in bits and pieces, at least in South India. You have individual teachers running their own
Exactly, yeah.
school.
That was always there, yeah.
Yeah, but
But
what I'm talking about is like a proper affiliation with a recognized university, having a curriculum for after school activity, and giving them a good performance opportunity from time to time within the school to groom them, and things like this in a more
that is really beautiful. That's really, really
serious
beautiful.
fashion. I hope somebody is hearing this and will come forward
They
with a
will. I mean,
project
even
idea.
though at this point, since in India it's like 8 o'clock, it's 8 a.m. Some people will not see it right away. But after a couple of days, if you go notice it, there will be lots and lots of views. Definitely, people will be viewing. What you should do? Maybe take this clip and send it to all schools. Now that you search on the Google, send it
I
to every school. They
Yeah, recently
probably.
when I went to Finland, I played in a few such schools, and I was very impressed with the way the system is in place. And can you believe across Finland they have 100 schools that do this, and it also provides employment to several music teachers, right?
Very,
Both
very true.
part
Yeah.
time and full time. This is like a wholesome thing for students as well as for teachers and administrators. It is a scope for employment. I mean, if you can do this in one city, the whole of Finland probably, has a population of one city in India. Uh, so when you do one city in India, if you can bring about 100 schools, can you imagine the number of people you can employ?
Exactly. Yeah. Very, very true. I agree with you. Yes. Yeah. It's an
So
see.
yeah, I
And
know it is a huge infrastructure, huge investment from anybody, but I hope there is somebody really listening to this and making this work.
for sure it will work. Yeah, it's all implementation, it's all like a right context. And
Yes,
like a you have the tendency to do it, you have the interest to do it, so it's all like how to put it in place. So it probably
yes,
will happen maybe,
I hope
one
so.
year to 5 years from now you probably will be doing that. that's
Thank you,
that's
thank you,
my
thank
wishes to
you,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bob. You, you're muted.
Oh, oops, sorry. So, I pulled out some music, so I wanted to play a little bit for our
Oh,
audience. So, if you have a minute, so I wanted to
yes,
play some
absolutely.
music. Yeah, thank you. That was very, very, very beautiful. That was amazing. So I just thought, I'll just share some for our audience. Now we almost came to the end of our,
Ah,
but the thing is, you are not done yet with me. I'm going to have some rapid rounds. I pulled out, you already knew that I pulled out some pictures from all over the place. So I have some pictures. Now I will be posting it on the screen. You have to tell me where it was taken and
oh
when it
my.
was taken, what was the background about that picture. Ready?
Sounds like fun.
Awesome.
Let
Okay.
me test myself.
The first one goes here.
This was a memorable moment when I performed for Ilayaraja sir at his residence in the Navaratri series that they host every year. I think that was in 2017.
Awesome, awesome. Here is another one.
Wow, this one was taken in Bangalore when in the prestigious Chaudhaya Memorial Hall when I performed for Bharatiya Samagana Sabha, where Balmudi sir was receiving an award after my concert. It was indeed very, very kind of him to come and be in the audience well ahead of his award time. He was there for an hour of my concert, and he even talked in his thanking speech about my playing, and he told me how happy he was about him being welcomed by the flute music,
Awesome, awesome.
and
Okay, so you're not too bad. So you're making it. You're making it. So there is going to be another picture right here.
and there. Oh, this was when I in 2017 again. In spring in Boston when I attended Zakir Ji's concert in Boston. I think it was the drums ensemble. Yeah, a
Awesome.
fabulous concert, something so memorable.
Beautiful. Okay, are you ready for the
And
next
in
one?
that you see
Uh-huh.
Sukanya Aunty, another high energy woman artist who has pushed boundaries and achieved great
Beautiful.
heights.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful to know that. So you remember that. Okay, so I wanted you to say, I didn't know, where did you find it? I was expecting that it didn't happen yet. So the next picture, here it is.
Ah, another very memorable picture. Uh, the one time I got to play for A.R. Rahman sir for his Rajiv Menon sir's movie on Mridangam artists.
Uh-huh.
So this was also 2017 or 18 beginning, something like that. This was
Beautiful.
at the studios of A.R. Rahman ji.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, so this probably you will say, but I wanted to just ask. Here you go.
Ah, this is a big family picture.
Yes.
Yeah, as you see, there's my daughter born, so I know it's in the last 2 years. Must have been 2021,
Mm,
the end of 2021 or so, when we all met casually for dinner at my place.
beautiful.
It's very rare to find all of us
To join
being,
together.
yeah, either Shashank is traveling or his wife is traveling or I am
Right, right.
traveling.
True,
These
true.
days, my dad also travels a lot for his hobbies.
Awesome, awesome. You know that
He makes
I'm
trips.
really glad he's living up to his life now,
Yeah,
you know.
now,
He
yeah,
sacrificed a lot, you
yeah, he
know.
travels a lot to collect old violins and clocks.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
and
very happy to
he
hear that.
those long hauls. Yeah.
Awesome. And here is one more. Yay.
Hey, this was the most recent picture, just taken 2 weeks ago
I
at
got it. Somehow I collected it.
Tirukazhakundram, which is a hill temple.
Right,
You see,
right,
my interest for temples and hiking put
right,
together.
right. Awesome,
So
awesome.
we
That's
made
the
a,
whole family, the complete family.
yes,
Beautiful.
thank you.
Very, very beautiful. Lovely too. I mean, you answered all the questions. Yeah, you
You
won.
walked me through all my blessed moments.
I'm so, so happy. Like I was able to share those, moments. And, sometimes, we might not even know where it's from. Some people would, I kind of remember, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
expected
yeah.
that at least in, somewhere or other, but you won. And Shantala ji, we are almost at the very end of our conversation. What is your advice to, or your views, I would say, instead of, saying because the next generation don't like the word advice, so quote unquote. So we are not going to advise anyone, but what is your view or your expression to the next generation musicians who wants to take flute playing as career?
It's tough. The situation in which Carnatic music performing uh, what do I say? How in the way the Carnatic music performances are headed, hosted, and in that way, I don't think it's a sustainable career option. But I hope things will change on that front. But as a student of music, I just say don't give up. If you like the flute, just stay at it, work hard. It's a physically tiring instrument, but don't give up. You can do it. There are so many who have done it before you, so you can also do it. Not too many have done, but you can be one of those exceptional ones, is what I think. Work hard and pray that you learn from a right teacher, because right teacher is also not an easy proposition to have. You need to be blessed. It's a two-way street. And just work hard, be sincere. Don't look for temporary solutions. Don't look for quick solutions, because today that is the thing that actually drains most of the children and the parents of those children. They are looking for quick solutions and quick ways to be on stage or fame and name. Um, it will
இதெல்லாம் வந்து
die
இந்த
quicker than you
திடீர்
got it.
பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் திடீர் இட்லி மிளகா பொடி திடீர் சாம்பார் பொடி எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு
Yes.
மியூசிக் திடீர் கர்நாடிக் மியூசிக் பீப்புள் ஆர் லுக்கிங்
Yeah.
ஃபார் தட்
Yeah, yeah,
cannot be
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Have a sustainable way of, prolonging your own longevity in the field, and don't burn yourself to the extent that you won't be there beyond 10 years.
Very beautifully said. Very, very beautifully said, Shantalaji. And like to our audience, what would I say? I would simply say, wow, wow, wow. That was such an amazing, inspiring,
My
live
pleasure.
session. Yes, and
Thank you. Thank you for
thank
thinking
you.
of me for the show.
Thank you so much. I mean, I saw in your Facebook that you were visiting all the temples and performing, all around the whole last week, and all of a sudden, like you popped up here on my live, and I'm so glad with your busy schedule you are able to come and
My
talk to our
pleasure.
audience. I personally had an amazing time sharing a beautiful time with
Same
you,
here. Been
and
lovely talking to you. Because an artist interviewing an artist always makes a difference.
yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, what it is like to me, we always go. I mean, see, my goal changed. I mean, being in the United States, living as a citizen of United States, our goals always, like if I have to be a performer in India, I mean, Indian musician, I have to be in India. It never
Yes.
will happen to us. So once
Right.
in a while, it doesn't matter what kind of expertise you have to be there in order to be like a Carnatic
Absolutely.
musician. So being here, we changed our targets differently. So in the beginning, of course, we did the same thing. We went into wherever Carnatic music was, taken into consideration. Like we were doing it, and after a while, it doesn't work for people like us. So what we started
Yes.
doing is, okay, take it doesn't matter how big of an artist come to the country. What they do is, there is a simple middle school auditorium or high school auditorium or temple auditorium. They always think Carnatic music in a smaller space or smaller.
Yes.
So what we decided, why Carnatic music? Why do we have to always think to have that with 100 to 1,000 people in a smaller auditorium, which will hold only 100 to 1,000 people maximum, or maximum even if you go like a 1,500 people. So why can't we take it beyond? So we started doing take Carnatic music to the finest venues around the world. So we started
Fantastic.
doing, yeah. So that's what we do at this time. Like I take Carnatic music into Walt Disney Concert Hall, into Carnegie
Wow.
Hall, and to Sydney Opera House. We even performed there. Like a
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yeah. So Sydney Opera House, the first time it heard the Veena, first time ever we made it work in there. Like we
Great.
were the,
Wow.
we made some histories like that. So so being here, that is what we can serve the Carnatic music with. I don't have to be a single-handed performer performing for 100,000 people. Instead, I take this music to the places where it didn't
Fantastic.
go and touch. So that's what we are trying to do, and we are happy with
Huge.
that.
That's a
Yeah.
huge reach and
Yeah.
a very big value addition for the Carnatic music
Carnatic
itself.
music itself. Yeah, that's true. That's what
For
we
the
do.
reach
And
of
Yeah, so I
Sonali,
mean, why
please.
I brought that, I mean, I didn't want to just brag in your show about ours, but why I
No,
said it.
it's so good you mentioned it
Thank you.
because
So,
we seem to have the same agenda in different ways.
exactly. No, the reason I brought it in is like it doesn't matter where as a musician, you are there. That music bugs you to go and do something about it
Absolutely.
always. So we always do that. And what happens most of the time when we are on stage, people only hear us. I mean, especially in auditoriums like that, people, I mean, as soon as the show is done, the curtains are, they won't even see us.
Yes.
So, what is our story? What is our history? How did we
Yes.
become this? Nobody knows about musicians. So, I brought this unique, show, Artists Beyond Limits. Every artist have a story or history to tell about themselves. We never hear. We only hear their music and say goodbye as soon as the concert is done. Maximum, if we have like a 5-10 minutes after the concert, if the artists come down, we speak to them a little bit. So we never get to know, of course, if we know, the artists are friends with you, you know a little bit about their background. But otherwise, we
Yes.
will not know about, how they become real artists. So I brought this new episode,
So
I've
beautiful.
been doing. So it will call, all these artists and what made them to who they are. Like these recent days, kids are even afraid to take music as a career. And
Yes, I
as
can understand why, and even parents have their reservations.
yeah, it's
It's
because
absolutely well found.
yeah, no, what the first thing what they think is, okay, as soon as I learn for maybe my Sarli verses and Jantais, maybe one or two Geetams, and how can I just go perform in a concert hall? It doesn't happen like
Yeah,
that. It is not. So when we talk to the real artist, they say the story. You know what? It is not going to happen to you that way. Work on it. Those words
10
will
hours,
exactly.
15 years, and then
Exactly.
you can do all you want.
You can do something at least. That's what I would say.
Well,
So
what
that's
I
why
mean is they just make a beginning, but then that will take them forward. If they have sustained it for
exactly,
10 hours for 15 years,
exactly.
I think that's a great dedication, and they will have already molded by them and
Very
changed
true.
their intentions.
Very true. That's the reason I try to bring every artist, like, okay, artists beyond their limits. What they play
Wow,
is not what you hear. They went through so much before they play what they play. And let us talk to them
absolutely.
and hear them, to tell the world. So, like, it's just a beginning, it's just an initial stage. We started doing it. And now, like, people are hearing, people are listening, and people, hey, so everybody has a story, everybody has a history. They just didn't happen just like that in now, 1 year or 2 years. This is an
Absolutely.
amazing thing. I at least I try to do, and thank
Like
you
they
so
say, it
much.
takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly,
I think it
exactly.
takes many countries and continents to raise an artist.
Very,
It's
very true.
not just a family.
Exactly. Yeah, very, very true. So, and
So,
again, I had an amazing, such a fantastic time sharing this beautiful, beautiful moment and time with you. And thank you for sharing
thank
your
you so much,
experiences.
Rosie, for having me here
Of
on
course,
your
all
show.
your experience, expertise, your family background, your, parental family background, your immediate husband and children's family,
Yes,
your own family, and you shared with us. And thank you again so much, Shantalaji. It means a lot, and I really, really, really appreciate
totally
it.
my pleasure to be
And
here.
let me just quickly talk to my audience about just this
Hmm.
episode. And
Yes,
we are almost at the end, so we will just finish it like maybe in another 2-3 minutes. Thank you so much
sure.
again for joining. And this is actually phenomenal, like how she shared her beautiful memories with her gurus, with her parents, with her teachers. And I also wanted to tell everyone that let us all definitely give another round of applause to Shantala ji for her amazing presence here. Like the Carnatic bamboo flute, or we call it Venu or Pulangural. It represents the essence of South Indian classical music, embodying spirituality, tradition, and artistic expressions. It's mesmerizing. Melodies have the power to transport us to a realm of transcendental bliss, connecting us to our roots and to universal language of music as we celebrate the profound beauty of the Carnatic bamboo flute. And the bamboo flute is today. Let us also recognize the profound impact it has on our cultural identity and the preservation of our musical heritage for generations to come. And this is again for our dear audience. Thank you all for joining me today or every week with our special guest. And I tell you that your support, sitting and watching or sharing and commenting on this. So probably you're not watching right away because in India probably it's very early in the morning. But please do make sure that you share about every artist out there because their stories will make such a great impact in the future generations. Definitely, definitely. Your support for these kind of broadcasts are very, very important, not only to me as well as to all the artists who take part in these special episodes. So please follow my Facebook page, and this is a Facebook Live that we are doing. And also, I have an Instagram page, but I don't do Instagram Live yet. So, but this goes directly on Facebook and a YouTube channel, which is called Spring Nectar TV, as well as on my Rosemary Krishnan, Dr. Rosemary Krishnan page on YouTube as well. So make sure to like, comment, and give us your love by sharing this content, with the other music enthusiasts, fans, and music lovers, so that they can get inspired through these beautiful artist stories as well. If you haven't started following, please make sure to follow or like the page and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube channel or Facebook page, it doesn't matter. I will definitely see you all next week. With another beautiful, amazing artist, so that we can hear what they have to say to all of us. Till then, stay happy and stay safe and spread your love through music and fine arts with everyone around the world to make this world a better place to live. Peace and love to you all. I will definitely, definitely see you all soon with a beautiful artist again next week. And until then, bye bye and love you all. Thank you for watching.